everyone. Here we are going to see about the digestive system in human beings. We all eat food. We all love food. If you don't take breakfast in the morning, how do you feel by the noon? The food we eat provides energy and organic substances for growth and replacement of worn and damaged tissues. Food regulates and coordinates the various activities that takes place in our body. The components of our food are carbohydrate, protein, lipids, vitamins, minerals, fibers and water. We obtain food from plants and animal sources. The food we eat are macromolecules and cannot directly enter into our cell. These have to be broken into smaller micromolecules in absorbable forms, for which we need a digestive system. The primary function of the digestive system in animals is to bring the nutrients, water and electrolytes from the external environment into every cell in the body through the circulatory system. Let me see digestive system. The process of digestion involves intake of food, that is called as the ingestion, breakdown of food into micromolecule, that is called as the digestion, absorption of these molecules into the bloodstream is called as the absorption, and the absorbed substance becoming component of cell is called as the assimilation, and elimination of undigested substance is called as the egestion. The digestive system includes alimentary canal and associated digestive glands. Now we are going to see the structure of alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is a continuous muscular digestive tract that begins with the anterior opening from the mouth and opens out posteriorly through anus. Alimentary canal consists of mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, intestine, rectum and anus. The mouth is concerned with the reception of food and leads to the buccal cavity. The buccal cavity is otherwise called as the oral cavity. Mechanical digestion is initiated in the buccal cavity by chewing with the help of teeth and tongue. Chemical digestion is occur through salivary enzymes secreted by the salivary gland. Human beings and many other mammals form two sets of teeth during their lifetime. A set of 20 temporary teeth is called as the milk teeth, which gets replaced by a set of 32 permanent teeth. This type of dentition is called as the diffidont. The permanent teeth are of four different types, namely incisor, canine, premolar and molar. Incisor, the teeth is like sizzle like structure. Canine is dagger in shape. Premolar is used for grinding and molar is also used for grinding and crushing. Our teeth is is made up of minerals, salt like calcium and magnesium, and are deposited in our teeth. Our tongue is a freely movable muscular organ. Oral cavity leads to the pharynx and food passes through the esophagus. Esophagus is a thin, long, muscular tube concerned with the conduction of the food to a J-shaped stomach passing through the neck, thorax and diaphragm. A cardiac sphincter regulates the opening of the esophagus into the stomach. Cardiac stomach is located near the gastroesophageal region. It is otherwise called as the gastroesophageal sphincter. If the cardiac sphincter does not contract properly during the churning action of the stomach, the gastric juice with acid may flow back into the esophagus and cause heartburn. This is called as the gastroesophagus reflux disorder. The stomach functions as the temporary storage organ for food, and it is located in the upper left portion of the abdominal cavity. It consists of three parts: a cardiac portion into which the esophagus opens, and a fundic portion and a pyloric portion that opens into the duodenum. The opening of the stomach into the duodenum is guarded by the pyloric sphincter. It periodically allows partially digested food to enter to the duodenum and also prevent the regurgitation of food. The inner wall of stomach has many folds that is called as the gastric roughage, which unfold to accommodate a large meal. The small intestine assists in the final digestion and absorption of food. It is the longest part of the alimentary canal and has three regions: a U-shaped duodenum, and a long coiled middle portion is called as the jejunum, and a highly coiled portion is called as the ileum. The wall of the duodenum has Brunner's gland which secrete mucus and enzyme. Ileum is the longest part of the small intestine and opens into the cecum of the large intestine. The ileal mucosa has numerous vascular projection is called as the villi, which are involved in the process of absorption, and the cells lining with the villi produces numerous microscopic projection called as the microvilli. That microvilli giving a brush border appearance that increase the surface area enormously. Along with the villi, the ileal mucosa also contain mucus secreting goblet cells and lymphoid tissues known as Peyer's patches, which produce lymphocytes. The wall of the small intestine bears crypt between the base of the villi called crypt of Luberkin. The large intestine consists of cecum, colon and rectum. The cecum is a small blind pouch-like structure that opens into the colon, and it possesses a narrow finger-like tubular projection called vermiform appendix. Both cecum and vermiform appendix are larger in herbivorous animal and act as an important site for cellulose digestion with the help of symbiotic bacteria. The colon is divided into four regions, namely ascending region, transverse region, descending part, and sigmoid colon. The colon region is lined by a dilation is called as the hastra. The S-shaped sigmoid colon, it is called as the pelvic colon too, opens into the rectum. The rectum is concerned with the temporary storage of fecus. The rectum opens into the anus. The anus is guarded by two anal sphincter muscles. The anal mucosa is folded into several vertical folds and contains arteries and veins called as the anal column. The anal column may get enlarged and causes piles. Next, we are going to see about what are the digestive glands are involved for the digestion. Digestive glands are called as the exocrine gland, which secrete biological catalyst. They are called as the enzyme. The digestive glands associated with the alimentary canal are called as the salivary gland, liver, and pancreas. Stomach wall has a gastric gland that secretes gastric juice, and the intestinal mucosa secretes the intestinal juice. Let me see one by one. Salivary glands. There are three pairs of salivary glands in the mouth. They are the largest parotid gland is present in the cheeks. The submaxillary or submandibular is located lower jaw, and the sublingual is present beneath the tongue. These glands have duct. The salivary juice secreted by the salivary gland reaches the mouth through this duct. Daily secretion of saliva from salivary gland ranges from 1000 to 1500 ml. Next gland is gastric gland. The wall of the stomach is lined by gastric gland. Chief cells or peptic cells or zymogen cells in the gastric glands secretes the gastric enzyme, and the goblet cells secrete the mucus. The parietal or oxyntic cell secretes the HCl, and an intrinsic factor is responsible for the absorption of vitamin B12 called as the Castile intrinsic factor. Next gland is liver. The liver is the largest gland in our body, and it is situated in the upper right side of the abdominal cavity, just below the diaphragm. The liver consists of two major left and right lobe and two minor lobes. These lobes are connected with the diaphragm. Each lobe has many hepatic lobules. Lobules are nothing but the functional unit of liver and is covered by a thin connective tissue is called as the glycan capsule. Liver cells, that is hepatic cells, secrete bile, which is stored and concentrated in the thin muscular sac called as the gallbladder. The duct of gallbladder along with the hepatic duct from the liver form the common bile duct. The bile duct passes downwards and join with the main pancreatic duct to form a common duct called as the hepatopancreatic duct. The opening of the hepatopancreatic duct into the duodenum is guarded by a sphincter called as the sphincter of Oddi. The liver has high power of regeneration and liver cells are replaced by new ones every 3 to 4 weeks. Apart from bile secretion, the liver also performs several functions. Let me see one by one. Destroys aging and defective blood cells. Second, store glucose in the form of glycogen or disappear glucose into bloodstream with the help of the pancreatic hormone. Third one, store fat-soluble vitamins and ions. Fourth one, detoxifies toxic substances. Fifth one, involves in the synthesis of non-essential amino acids and urea. Next, pancreas. The second largest gland in the digestive system is pancreas, which is yellow in colored. Compound elongated organ consists of exocrine and endocrine cells. It is situated between the limbs of U-shaped duodenum. The exocrine portion secretes pancreatic juice containing enzymes such as pancreatic amylase, trypsin, and pancreatic lipase. And the endocrine part called as islets of Langerhans secretes hormones such as insulin and glucagon. The pancreatic duct directly opens into the duodenum. Next, let me see digestion of food and the role of digestive enzymes. The process of digestion converts solid food into absorbable and assimilable form. This is accomplished by mechanical and chemical process. Let me see how the digestion occurs in the buccal cavity. The smell, sight, and taste as well as the mechanical stimulation of food in the mouth trigger a reflex action which result in the secretion of saliva. The mechanical digestion starts in the mouth by grinding and chewing of food. It is called mastication. Our saliva contains water, electrolytes, salivary amylase, antibacterial agents, and lubricating agent. The mucus in saliva prepare the food for swallowing by moistening, softening, lubricating, and adhering the masticated food in the bowl. About 30% of polysaccharide starch is hydrolyzed by salivary amylase enzyme into disaccharides. The bowl is passed into the pharynx and then into the esophagus by swallowing. The swallowing is called as the degglutination process. The bowls further pass down through the esophagus to the stomach by successive waves of muscular contraction is called as the peristalsis. The gastroesophageal sphincter control the passage of food into the stomach. Next, digestion in stomach. The food remains in the stomach for 3 to 4 hours. The rhythmic peristaltic movement churn and mixes with food with gastric juice and make it into creamy liquid called as the chyme. The gastric secretion is partially controlled by autonomic reflexes. The secretion of gastric juice begins when the food is in the mouth. The gastric juice contains HCl and proenzymes. Proenzymes include pepsinogen. It helps to convert active enzyme pepsin, which convert proteins into protease, and peptones. The HCl provides an acidic medium which is optimum for pepsin, and it kills the bacteria and other harmful organisms. The mucus and bicarbonates present in the gastric juice plays an important role in lubrication and protection of mucosal epithelium from the eroding nature of high acidic HCl. Another proteolytic enzymes are found in the gastric juice of infants in renin, helps in the digestion of milk protein. Casinogen to casein in the presence of calcium ions. This enzyme secreting gradually reduces with aging. Next, digestion in small intestine. The bile, pancreatic juice and intestinal juice are the secretions released into the small intestine. Movements generated by the muscular layer of the small intestine help in the thorough mixing of food with various secretions in the intestine and then thereby facilitated the digestion. The bile contains bilirubin and peliveridin. These are the pigments. They break down product of hemoglobin, of dead RBCs, bile salts, cholesterol and phospholipid, but has no enzymes. Bile helps in emulsification of fat. Bile salts reduces the surface tension of fat droplets and break them into small globules. Bile also activates lipase to digestive lipase, proteins and partially digested proteins into chyme on reaching intestine or acted upon the proteolytic enzymes of pancreatic juice. The pancreatic juice contains enzymes such as trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, carboxypeptidase, pancreatic amylase, pancreatic lipase and nuclease. Trypsinogen is activated by an enzyme, enterokinase, secreted by the intestinal mucosa into active trypsin, which in turn activate the enzyme chymotrypsinogen in the pancreatic juice. Trypsin hydrolyzes proteins into polypeptide and peptones, while chymotrypsin hydrolyzes peptide bond associated with specific amino acids. The pancreatic amylase convert glycogen and starch into maltose. Lipase act on emulsified fat and hydrolyzes them into free fatty acids and monoglycerides. Monoglycerides are further hydrolyzed to fatty acids and glycerol. Nucleases in the pancreatic juice break the nucleic acid into nucleotides and nucleosides. The secretion of the Brunner's glands along with the secretion of the intestinal gland constitute the intestinal juice. The enzymes in the intestinal juice as maltase, lactase, sucrase, peptidase, lipase, nucleotides and nucleosides act on the breakdown product of bile and pancreatic digestion. For example, maltose gives rise to glucose with the reaction of maltase. Sucrose gives rise to the reaction of glucose and fructose with the reaction of sucrase. Lactose gives rise to glucose and galactose with the reaction of lactase. Like the breakdown will be occur. The mucus along with the bicarbonate ion from the pancreas provides an alkaline medium for the enzymatic action. As the result of digestion, all macromolecules of food are converted into their corresponding monomeric unit. Like carbohydrate into monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are nothing but the glucose, fructose, galactose, and proteins is converted into amino acids. Lipids are converted into fatty acids and glycerol. The simple substances thus formed are absorbed in the jejunum and the ileum region of the small intestine. The undigested and unabsorbed substances are propelled into the large intestine. The activities of gastrointestinal tract are carried out by the neural and hormonal control for proper coordination of different parts. Gastric and intestinal secretions are stimulated by neural signal. Hormonal control of the digestive juice is carried out by local hormones produced by the gastric and intestinal mucosa. And finally, the digestive waste and unabsorbed substances in the ileum enter into the large intestine and mostly contains fiber called roughage. The roughage is utilized by symbiotic bacteria in the large intestine for the production of substances like vitamin K and other metabolites. All these substances are absorbed into the colon along with the water. The waste is then solidified in a fecal matter in the rectum. The fecal matter initiates a neural reflex causing an urge for its removal. The egestion of fecals through the anal opening is called defecation. It is a voluntary process and is carried out by the peristaltic movement.